I noticed in '94 you did a number of shots for WCW on their syndicated television against Stars and Stripes, the Nasty Boys, Alex Wright, Johnny B. Bad, a couple others. Wanted to know about your experience during that period of time in WCW, how you got that booking, and a lot of fans we've heard a lot about the atmosphere at Center Stage in Atlanta was kind of an interesting venue, so to speak, in terms of the fans that they had in there, non-traditional fans, so to speak. What was your experience like in that respect?
Well, Larry Santos the one who got me the bookings. Like he was already doing jobs on WCW at the time, so he would get me the bookings, and then he would charge me a booking fee just for getting me the bookings. So I mean, it was profitable for him, and it was the first time I was ever making money in the business. It was just me actually making real money in the wrestling business. But I was also getting to go into the dressing room and hang out with people that I idolized. Like I remember the first time I ever saw Ric Flair, it took my breath away. I couldn't even. There was no way I could have ever walked up and just talked to him. Because I saw him, I was just so mesmerized and starstruck. And then seeing Arn Anderson and Bobby Eaton and the Rock and Roll Express. I mean, just hanging out with any of those guys and being in there with Johnny B. Bad was awesome. Like he always took care of me in the ring. Like every time I got in there with Mark Marrow, he always took very good care of me. And some guys like Jim Duggan would take very good care of me when I would work with him. Like I'd get in the ring with Jim Duggan, and literally I wouldn't even see Jim Duggan all day long. Like he wouldn't come up say a word to me until about 5 minutes before the match, and he would walk up to me and he goes, "Yeah, I'm just gonna job you, kid." I was like, you know what, man, that's what I'm getting paid to do. Let's just go out there and have fun, and we did, and it always worked out very well. But WCW, like I remember Center Stage too. Like I remember a couple of times I went to Center Stage, and Center Stage was free. Like the fans didn't have to pay to get into Center Stage. They literally let them in free. And there were times where we couldn't pack out the building with free fans, and they would
Mhm.
make us put on Sting shirts and give us foam fingers and sit in the crowd and jump up and down and scream just to pretend like we were fans and pay us to do that. So I mean, yeah, wrestling was at a really low point at that time when I was in WCW. Like WCW was paying us well, but at the same right, their business wasn't doing great at the time.
Mm-hmm. Was there ever any talk of staying on longer with WCW, or at a later point again when their fortunes changed, towards the mid to later point of that decade?
Well, I remember Jody Hamilton. We did a long week, like we did like a solid week of just wrestling for WCW. And at the end of the week, Jody Hamilton would pull a lot of us into his office, and he pulled me in as well. But most of the guys he pulled in, he would literally tell them, he's like, listen, you're not going anywhere in this business. You really need to find something else. You really, really, really are not going to make it at this. And then when he brought me in, the only thing he told me, and the only reason I know that is because other guys told me what he said to them when they came out of the office. And when he took me in, he said, listen, I think you have a bright future in this business. He said, you're young. He said, you need to get in the gym. You need to work harder. He said, but if you stay on the track you're on, you're actually going to do something in this business. So, with that kind of information from him, especially because Jody Hamilton was amazing, like he always treated me so well. Like, I remember one time I had to wrestle Vader, and it was my first time ever, being at the shows. And Leon had just broke Joe Thurman's back, like
Mm.
maybe a month before. And he comes in and they take me into a broom closet, him and Harley Race in the center stage. And he's like, okay, he hooks me for like a choke slam. He says, jump. And I jumped as high as I could. He goes, oh, you're going to take that really good. I'm doing that 3 times. And I'm like, fuck. Come on. So, I mean, so we start to walk out. And as we're walking out, Leon goes out the door. Harley grabs him by the arm and pulls me back into the little broom closet. He says, okay, this is what you're really going to do. He said, when he starts throwing the punches in the corner, he said, I need you to start going this way as he's coming at you this way, and then start coming this way when he's coming that way, so he can never get a solid punch. He said, don't put your hands up because he's going to come underneath and try to break your ribs. He said, that's just how he is. He said, watch the monkey splash because he's going to really try to hurt you with that. And was like, at this point, I'm like, oh, this is going to suck. This is just going to be a nightmare. So I walk out there, and then me and Nick Patrick are standing there at the door, getting ready to go out the door to the ring. And Flair comes up and stops us. And him and Leon go into the closet again, and I can see them through a little glass door, and they're arguing back and forth. And I was like, damn it, Flair, he's already going to kill me. Please don't piss him off even more. He's just going to go in there and just destroy me tonight. So they walked out, and Leon took off his headgear, and he goes, good match, kid. And I said, oh, wow, I was really, really looking forward to this. And he just started laughing and slapped me in the head and walked off. And Jody apparently thought that he was going to hurt me. And apparently he had told somebody he had a migraine or some bullshit that day. And Jody was like, just cancel this match. I don't want this kid to get hurt.